Hey guys, good to see you all here. Okay, let me go up to the comments. I see, whoa, oh my goodness, there's a bunch of you in here. Dave, I know you were the first one in saying hi. I highlighted your your comment. Pat, good to see you. Dave, and let me see who else. Oh, okay, there's Robert. Good to see you all in here. All right. We have a guest this evening, and looks like he's having a little bit of problems logging in, but that's okay. We have some housekeeping to do. The announcements, we'll get through those and wait for our guests to get connected. Okay, this past weekend was the Patsy Hillman Bigfoot Festival in Brownsville, Pennsylvania. Who all went there? From all I hear, it went really well. Hey, Tina. Okay, and then this weekend is the Forest County Bigfoot Festival. That's in Marionville, Pennsylvania. They've got a whole bunch of really good guests coming, speakers. I will not be one of the speakers this year. I was there the first year. I was their keynote speaker. I will have a booth set up. So, if you plan on coming to the Forest County Bigfoot Festival in Marionville, Pennsylvania, make sure you stop by the booth. Say hi. June 22nd is the Bigfoot Barbecue UFO Festival, Milton Loop Campground in Armstrong County. That's Dayton, Pennsylvania. There's a camp out June 26th through the 30th. That information is on the group at Prince Gallitzin State Park. September 19th through 22nd is our camp out at Tracy Ridge State Park in Bradford, Pennsylvania. And that's McCain County. And Tara Stephanie is hosting that one. I can tell you right now, I have been receiving reports from someone else in the area who is, there's a lot of activity going on up there. I can tell you that right now. Like in the past few weeks. Sightings, road crossings. And I suspect, well, who knows? It possibly could be the same one that was hassling us during our camp out there last year. We had a fantastic time, although some members of our group really didn't have that good of a time, especially on the last night. There were quite a few people got hit with infrasound. They weren't feeling well, and a few people left, and then, well, really most everyone left, and so there were only two of us there for the last night. And unfortunately, the other person who stayed, he got hit really bad with infrasound, really bad. And yeah, I just got something whacked the side of my van. That's about all he did to me. And let's see what else. October 5th is the Jefferson Volunteer Fire Department Bigfoot Festival. That's in Greene County, Pennsylvania. Jefferson Volunteer Fire Department Bigfoot Festival. And oh, hey Tina. Oh, thank you for stopping by, and congratulations. Welcome to the group. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to stop in here for the podcast. It looks like Terry is still having some problems logging in. Terry, I don't know if you can hear me. maybe disconnect and try to come back in again. Terry Ronzio, he has been a speaker at the, let me see, at the Patsy Hillman Bigfoot Festival. I know he was there, and I can't remember where else that he's spoken at, but he runs a couple different pages on Facebook and a few former pages. His main page is, released right now, is the ADHD historian. ADHD historian. So, if you get a chance, get on the Facebook and find that page, like, subscribe. I think it's just a like, it's a page, so you would just like it, but follow. And he's got a lot of fascinating information on there. And okay, Terry, I know you're trying. You're trying. Let me see. Oh, oh. Let me see what. Yeah. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. There we go. We'll highlight you, Tina. Oh. Okay, Terry, I know, I see you are trying. I don't know, maybe it's a bad connection. I know it's some bad weather coming through, and hopefully that's not affecting, your connection. Yeah, I don't know what I can do, but really not much I can do to help you. Hey, Jerry. Okay, I had to double check. Jerry Richardson, EE Polling Videos. Hey, Jerry. Where's Jeff? Robert. Hello. We got 2 new people in here. Good to meet you. Now, the EE Pulling Videos, that's Jerry Richardson. He's, let me see, okay. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you. Okay, Jerry. Yeah, Jeff is doing what he does best. Okay. Just keep that mute button handy. Yeah, Jerry runs or helps run Mason-Dixon Cryptids. They have a YouTube channel. They're a research group also in the Maryland area. And they collect reports, and they have a YouTube channel, Mason-Dixon Cryptids. Really good guys. If you get a chance to get on their channel and like and subscribe, get on there. Good guys, a lot of information. Okay, well, Terry, we're waiting on you, and hopefully you'll be able to get in here. Roger, good to see you. Yeah, Jerry, try to boost everyone as much as we can. Yeah, looks like Terry is having some. Oh, thank you, Tina. Good job. All right. All right. Let me tell you something. I had a new introduction there, a little video that Roger made for me, and I wanted to thank Roger. There's one with all the little pictures of basically the monkey wench, and I wanted to thank Roger for doing that for me. Donna Predator, oh my goodness, so good to see you. Oh, you liked it? Good, thank you. And yeah, thank Roger too. Okay, here we go. Here's Terry. All right.
Hello, Mary. Can you see me?
There you go. You made it.
This new technology. I had to turn off everything and turn it all back on, But I'm here. Hi, everybody. Hey, I apologize. I can't type to everybody because hello, everybody. I'll say hi to everybody here.
Yeah, that's good. Believe me, I know. Like I said, that whenever I first started this, it's a learning curve. It's a lot to learn, and as a guest, even it's a little complicated. But you're in here, and
yeah, I apologize for that.
No problem. Not a problem.
Okay, I'm watching you on. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to let everyone know. This is Terry Ronzio. He's from Greene County, Pennsylvania, and he runs quite a few different pages, including the ADHD historian. What are some of the other pages that you run?
Well, here's what happened. I've been a historian on Facebook for like 12 years. Well, no, since 2012. So all of a sudden, Facebook locked me out. Well, I can't get into my original Terry page, so I can't get into all my research on all my pages. So that's why I created the ADHD historian, because we have this really popular page called, me and my brothers run it, and our friends. It's called the Secret Nerd Base, and Facebook deleted that page. So my fear is they're going to delete all my work. So I'm the secret to all my pages are my files. So go to all those. I'm going to tell you the name of the pages: the Greene County Time Capsule, the Youghiogheny River Valley History, IUP Indiana County Time Capsule, Washington, PA Monongahela River History, West Virginia Time Capsule, and my favorite one. Well, they're all my favorite, but I love military history and I love Native American history. And I had one called the Zombie War Cafe, and that's where all my Native American research and Civil War research but I also did supernatural pages, and my main page is called the Haunted Like page. So if you go to the ADHD historian, I shared a whole bunch of files for you guys to check out. I really love the research ghost pictures, and that's why I created that Haunted Like page.
Very cool. Very cool. You're a busy guy.
Yeah, I'm like a history monk. but like you were saying, but I'm the reason I'm a guest at the with the Fayette County Bigfoot project. I have your shirts, by the way. I have. Can you see the shirts?
Yes, I see that.
Thank you for my shirt. Thank you. I cherish it, and I have the Fayette County, PA. There's a research group. So yeah, I love researching. Well, I do. God bless you guys for being so vigilant and searching for evidence of Bigfoot and everything. I'm more of a Bigfoot, a supernatural magnet. I've had all these things happen to me over the years, and I grew up in a haunted house, so it's very interesting. You saw the list of things I could talk about.
Yes, yes, and it's a long list, like 3 pages long.
I taught a class. Like I said, if you go to the ADHD historian, I shared a whole bunch of stuff. I taught a class on where to point your camera. So once again, the secret to my haunted like page is the files, and I passed out. I sent you copies of the handout, and all those all those categories are basically files and of different photographs of all kinds of ghost pictures. But I shared examples to the ADHD historian so people can check them out. I love researching, like I was telling you about military history. I love researching ghost pictures that are, soldiers from Gettysburg, mainly. Gettysburg is one of the most haunted places. It's one of my favorite places.
Yes, it is. I've been there, and it's an amazing place. And
So
yeah,
you want me to tell you guys some stories? How long's our show?
it's as long as we last, and until I start yawning, that I'm too
Oh,
tired.
okay.
So
That's great.
yeah,
You,
tell us a
what,
little bit about how you began.
yeah, let's start with the like my fascination with ghost pictures, and once again, the interesting fact that my first ghost picture was a revolution. No, he wasn't a revolutionary soldier. He was even further back to the French and Indian War, because I can make the connection because I shared go to the, like I said, go, you can while I'm talking, you guys can follow what I'm talking about that's why I shared all that stuff to the page. One of my favorite places in the world, besides Greene County and the Youghiogheny River Trail, but is this place called in from all my research, my first ghost picture came from where I call it Half King's Rocks. I believe they're wrong that the Half King's Rocks is one of the places where Braddock and Washington in the Army camped. I
Mhm.
believe the rocks when I was a kid, I was in Boy Scouts. Me and my dad took us there, and it's called Irish Town. I believe that is Half King's Rocks because just by, like I said, all my research, and I didn't know at the time, I was too young to know that, but now looking back on hindsight and researching Braddock's Trail and everything, that I do believe that is where Half King's Rocks is, and it's very haunted.
Okay. Yeah,
And that Go ahead.
quite a few of our the peepers and the people in the chat here are not from the area. Could you explain who Half King was?
Yeah, Half King was the reason why we went to war. Half King was a Native American, and he when Washington was at Jermonsville before he was with Braddock, they Washington didn't want to kill the French soldiers, but Half King and his men did. So that's basically how it all started. That's just the Half King. So you can read all about Half King. Like I said, go to the page and read about Half King. And welcome to history. Uh, it's an amazing story, amazing time, and what I find interesting, ghosts. There's even a story I found in a ghost magazine, in a ghost book about there. I even put pictures up of Fort Necessity, uh, the battle Fort Necessity was. You can read all about it, but there's ghost pictures taken there, and I have a couple ghost pictures from Fort Necessity, and even Braddock's grave out on Route 40 where he was buried. There's even a ghost picture of taken. I found all these. I don't know if, but anyways, I took a picture of a like I said, a French and Indian War soldier up on a rock, and so I wrote the date down. It was with my dad's Boy Scouts, but I wasn't a Boy Scout. I was already past. My brothers were Boy Scouts. So 2 years later, me and my brothers went there. I wrote down the date because I had a theory that I could actually film it again at the same location at the same date. So we went up there, and we went up on this big rock where that ghost was standing guard basically forever. And I'm like, you guys feel anything? No. I said, well, we're going to make a ghost movie and have some fun with this. Let's just film one scene here, and then we'll go do our ghost movie. Yay! They were in high school, so so we filmed, and I was like, I pointed right there is where we caught a ghost on camera, and we're here to try to catch them again, and we're not, our sensors are not picked. We were the ghost reporters and the Ghostbusters, and and we aren't picking up any readings here, so we were signing off. So we went out and filmed a really funny. That's what actually got my brothers into making movies, and my brother Sean went out to Hollywood. He went to college down in Pittsburgh, and then he worked with he actually made films because of my inspiring them to be creative and making stuff for our movie we made, the Ghost Mountain Project, as Shane changed the name of the movie when he redid it. But yeah, so but anyways, to make a long story short, we went home and we were looking at the film, and the ghost was there.
Wow.
So yeah, Shane doesn't have that footage in the Ghost Mountain Project that he has on digital, but he has the original tape. We got to get that on digital so we can have it. So yeah, he doesn't. He's so busy. We're all so busy with what we do. So
yeah, that's for sure.
but so I grew up in a haunted house, and when I was let's see, so I want to tell you more about these rocks, because I never get to tell this story when I'm doing the toss, because I always get right to the Bigfoot and the Black Panther and the Goat Man and Shadow Man and Mothman. But before I get into that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the story. Let's go back to. I want to start out with, I was miraculously saved by my guardian angel twice in my life at an early stage. One, when I was on the railroad tracks with my dad's new car. I came home from college, and it stalled right out in front of my ex-girlfriend's house. So I was looking up in the window to see if she was awake, and I rolled up onto the tracks, and it stalled. And there's a train.
Oh.
So this is where I learned I wasn't afraid of death. I was more afraid of my dad. When I jumped out of the car and the car would be destroyed, then I said, well, I guess this is the end. Good place to go, right in front of my old girlfriend's house. So I took a drink of my beer. Yeah, you could drink beer. No, yeah, you could. No, I don't know if you could. No, I don't know. But anyways, I was drinking beer. So slowly, all of a sudden, the car starts. I mean, I tried everything. I couldn't get it. It wouldn't even move. It was straight flat on the track. It starts like it's being pushed backwards. And I'm like, oh no. now my bumper's going to be ripped off. My dad's still going to be mad at me. I'm going to survive this thing. So all this is going through my head, so I'm like, and then the train's there and it's going by, and I'm like, I can't, it's not hitting me. What the heck's going on? I'm on the tracks. This is really weird. It wasn't hitting me. So after the train was gone, I jumped out, and the car was still like on it. I should have been hit. So that little bit, so that, I was like, wow. So then me and like not even maybe 6 months later, me and my buddies were going down the river, and my canoe flipped over. Once again, I was drinking, once again, we were in swift current and it was deep, and I wasn't once again, I wasn't afraid. I was like, oh, I may as well do what they do in the cartoon, stick the hand up, and as I go down, here we go. So I'm going down, but all of a sudden my buddy Joe rips me out of the water. I'm like, wow, thanks, Joe. I was going down with the, I was just, saying goodbye and being funny. He's like, something told me to turn around.
Yeah.
I actually heard someone say turn around.
Wow.
So flash into the future. I wanted to tell you about the Half Kings Rocks and how me and that same guy, Joe, and our buddy Eddie were up there. We always, like I said, when we were Boy Scouts, we were all Boy Scouts together. We always camped out there it's called Irish Town. And the Dripping Rocks. The people in Dunbar call it the Dripping Rocks. Well, we were it was just normal for us to just go up there and just camp out, and we were just hanging out, and we heard all these voices, and we're like, what's going on? And we couldn't understand what the voices were saying, and so we went out. Well, there's nothing. We were flashlights, couldn't see anything, and then so we came back down in, and I could make this story go longer, but I'm going to cut it short because we have so much to talk about. But the interesting thing is, we were totally chased out of those mountains by this gang of ghosts. So, yeah, go back to once again, I wasn't the historian I am now, and I wasn't putting it all together. But when we heard them talking, we couldn't we heard it was loud enough, but we couldn't understand what they were saying. I believe they were either talking Indian or French. They were probably talking French, the more I think about it. But they chased us. We got totally frightened. We got our gear, and we were walking out the tunnel, and the leaves. There was no wind that night, and the leaves were blowing. It was like a wind tunnel. And it was like, it was crazy. The leaves were blowing by us, and we were walking, and then when we got out to the end of the tunnel, there was no wind. So we jumped in the van, took off, went to another place, and Joe said, let's just stop here. And then all of a sudden, like, well, say 10 minutes, no, not even 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, we heard this wagon coming down the road, and once again, the wind. And it stopped like right before the van, and we took off, and we went to another place way down where the hardtop starts, because this is all back road, like all dirt road, and we stopped there. We felt like safe there, that we were going to just sleep in the van there. And then once again, we heard the sound. We heard the wind and the sound, and then the wagon stopped. We're looking out the windows. There's nothing. But we hear the voices and everything, and then all of a sudden, it was sounding like metal on metal hit the van, and I jumped in the driver's seat, and I took off. We went all the way down the Valley Dairy parking lot, and we slept in the Valley Dairy parking lot. And the funny thing is, my dad was going to work that morning. He's like, the next day, he's like, Terry, I saw you guys were in the Valley Dairy parking lot sleeping. It's like, yeah, it's a long story, Dad, but I told him that story. But I found it very interesting, and like I said, I didn't know what kind of ghosts they were, but now that I know the history of that place, and it was a hot, it was yeah. So a very wild story, so I had to tell that to you guys. I never get
And
to
you
tell that
couldn't
story.
quite understand what they were saying.
No, and then now that I know history of the place and everything, and it had to be French.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Tina Marie asks, was the train the ghost train in Dawson?
It wasn't a ghost train; it was a real train.
Oh, okay.
The whole moral of that story is there was an angel, divine intervention saved me
Yeah.
twice, and I find it interesting that my buddy Joe was in that adventure with me, with a group being chased out of the mountains. I just find it interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Yeah, that is.
yeah.
So, yeah. Do you know anything about that Dawson train wreck? I don't know. Now I'm
Oh yeah.
intrigued about
Well,
that.
yeah, I know a lot about the Dawson train wreck. Yeah,
That
on
could have been, Sarah B. Cochran. Yeah, because she was in the mansion during that time.
yeah, she had her own railroad station
Yeah.
right on that road that
Yeah.
goes the back way into Linden Hall.
Yeah.
The stone bridge, you can't go. I believe the road is closed now. You can't go across because of that stone bridge being in bad shape.
Huh.
But yeah, that there was a terrible accident. It was down. It was down. It was down the way from Laurel Run. It's called, I believe it's Laurel Run. But yeah, it was like down the tracks from there. It was a terrible. It was around Christmas time, and yeah, I have a good file on that train crash.
Wow.
Once again, look for the train wreck. I transferred that file from the Youghiogheny River page to ADDHD historian, because once again, I worry about Facebook. One day I'm going to wake up and all my research is going to be gone. But I'm to the point where I'm just the ADHD historian's really taken off I'm just sharing. I mean, I made it was a joke to be the ADHD historian because I'm pulling all this information from all over the place. But but now it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. But it's got a good name.
Yeah.
Now, okay, yeah, I'm reading over your notes. You're talking about you've seen orbs, taken EVPs, ectoplasm, heard ghost music. Um, you've seen
Yeah.
Mothman, the Shadow Man, Goat Man.
Yeah, let's talk about let's talk. I know you've heard the story, but I'll tell everybody about there's I put it up, the trail cam that we don't know. It looks like Bigfoot looking in the trail cam. That one picture that you saw it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very very interesting. And then this is my sister's boyfriend Bruce has a trail cam, and the one picture looks like, and I'm glad we're talking about this because I'm going to go back to once again back to Half King's Rocks, but it's pointed like there's two pictures, and like I was telling you, I believe there's little people in the one picture, but the one picture is something materializing through, like it's coming through a portal. So we think it's aimed at a portal, but like Bruce says, he hasn't had those three pictures are the only ones that have caught anything.
Yeah.
So, but I took once. This is why I've had to. I'm glad we talked about the portal, because when me, Joe, and his son visited Half King's Rocks, the place where we were camping out, we always camped out in that little cave. I caught a portal opening up. It's an
Oh,
amazing picture, and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it like this week. I'm gonna post that picture. It's
good.
amazing. Yeah, it's very cool. It's like whoa. It's the coolest picture I ever saw. It's like, wow, that would be like the cover of a book.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you are able to capture something, anomalous, it's save it. And, sometimes, you're afraid to question, to put it out there and ask people's opinions. But
Oh, there's always the trolls.
oh yeah, no matter what, no matter
Yeah,
what.
you guys know because the big, it's like, oh man, I'm tired of people saying, oh, man. They just don't know. I mean, doubting Thomases. That's the whole, the story of doubting Thomas. That's
Yeah.
why they've never, we've all experienced it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I know
So
I've never experienced the portal, but
no,
hey, the thing is, you just don't know. We don't know everything, and we're all still learning. There's so many mysterious things going on, and we're still learning. So who knows?
yeah, and we'll never know everything. And
No.
I always talk about that when I do my talks. I'm like, you could be a professor with 3 different degrees, and it's always just we'll never know the total story.
Yeah.
But but the cool thing is, like I told you when you were up at the camp out there, uh, I know where to point the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go talk to ghosts when I'm ghost hunting. I don't want to go talk, try to send them on their way or whatever. I just want to go out and capture them on film because you can. And
Yeah.
I know that's even dangerous, but um, once again, getting back to divine intervention, I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm not afraid of anything hardly at all.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, when I walked the roads with, I walked 10,000 miles with the flag in 7 years for the soldiers and patriotism and our veterans. I walked 10,000 miles and 30 pairs of boots. And the guy, when the veterans, 80% of the, no, it was more than that. But 98% of the time, if someone stopped to talk to me out on the highways and byways, uh, they, I'd say, "Hey, you're a veteran," or if they were a young guy, "Hey, you're a soldier." And then, how do you know? So because they're our greatest patriots. That was I started walking in 2006 and I ended it in 2013. They they called me Forrest Gump, and I
Now,
had my Forrest Gump. Yeah.
where
What's
did
that?
you begin that?
What's that?
Where did you begin?
Oh well, I had like 2 jobs. I was a DJ, and I had all kinds of other jobs. I'm a chef, and I had to pay child support. I couldn't walk across America like I wanted to, but so I had what I called a war pass. I did 10-mile hikes, and I had to do. I set a goal for myself to do 3 legs of 500 miles a year because every 500 miles I got a new flag, and I saved that flag to give it to a unit that was over in this war. So so that was so I had to walk 3 to 4 walks a week to get to do that goal, and I did it, and it was a very cool thing. I wish I could still walk with the flag, but
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, I
Amazing
love it.
to do. Wow.
Yeah, it even the journey carried me to Norway.
Wow.
Yeah, I walked in Norway with Norwegian patriots because no one even really realizes how big the war is. All the different countries are pulled into fighting the war, and so it was cool. So by walking in Norway, it actually it uh, I didn't walk with the American flag. I didn't want to think them I was invading. So but I had the Norway flag and I had the American flag on my back. So when I came back, I put the Norway flag on my back and I walked with the American flag, of course, because that's what my
Mhm.
goal was. But it was cool. Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah,
Such an
yeah.
amazing thing to do.
But the cool thing of it is, I bring the flag to my talks because I had some amazing, a lot of like one of the most scariest things happened to me on the bike trail while walking with the flag. But I also saw another. It was a very. It wasn't as scary because it was in the daytime, but I was still frightened because it was. I don't know. I may as well talk about it since I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people like your guys didn't even know about the Hat Man, and I'm a DJ and I listen to Coast all the time to stay awake when I'm driving back from the gigs late early in the morning and stuff. So I heard this story about this Hat Man. I'm like, what? It's this guy. He is all like shadow as a shadow person, but he has this giant hat. So so let flash into the future. You know, I didn't do any investigating on it because I didn't have time. But I just thought I always caught it a couple times on Coast to Coast about Hat Man. But so there I was walking with the flag on a Sunday morning on what I call the Greene County uh, Ryerson Station State Park warpath. Like I said, I had all these warpaths that I walked on because I was all over the place. And so there I was, beautiful Sunday morning, just and all of a sudden, from out behind a tree, and I showed your group where this location was, and those trees aren't very big.
Yeah.
It was Shadow Man. He jumped out from behind a tree and ran behind another tree, and like I just saw Shadow Hat Man. What the? That was Hat Man. I was scared. I was like, holy cow! So I finally got the nerve to just start moving again. And then he jumped out again. He ran behind another tree. And I'm like, oh my God, what the heck's going on with this guy? And this time I'm going over to look behind that tree. So I finally got the nerve to go, and there was nothing there. So I flash into the future after, wisdom, knowledge, learning about stuff. And I don't know. I was talking to, I always say this when I'm talking. I was like, I believe, okay, there's like Shadow Man, which is kind of like an evil guy. But these Hat Men, I believe them to be time travelers. And I think that hat is the time traveling device. And after one of my talks, I had a guy walk up to me and he was actually trying to figure out how the hat worked for time travel. I'm like, wow. you're trying to figure out how the hat works. That's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe I'm the reason why Hat Man exists because I'm talking about him.
Well, just describe for everyone what the Hat Man is or what it looks like.
Like I said, it's all black. All black. It's a person with a giant hat. It's like, think of a sombrero, but like I said, it's all black. It's all black. And
Yeah.
imagine this was in broad daylight on a beautiful sunny Sunday morning, and the guy had this black, the dark, really dark figure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that happened. So.
And it disappeared behind narrow trees, small
Yeah,
trees.
very, very. I was showing your group where it happened, and they're like, "These trees aren't that big." I said, "Yeah, I know. That's why it's so weird." So I was telling them once again about once again I was on my Ryerson Station State Park. I was showing them the mounds. Now, once again from my history pages, uh, someone alerted me to the fact that the Rangers house, which is a very old house in Ryerson Station State Park, is built on an Indian mound.
Oh.
Now, near that house, I had a really strange thing happen to me. It wasn't a ghost thing, but it was kind of like a portal thing. Once again, back to portals. It was a really cold morning. I would walk in all temperatures, and this was a temperature where I had to smash my water bottles on trees and stuff to drink the water out because they were frozen. But there's a place where they had they had a skating rink there, and it was all ice. So I like a kid, I pick up a rock and I throw it to try to smash the ice. Just a kid, a grown-up kid, and it was really strange. It hit the ice. I saw it hit the ice, bounce, 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 slide, but there was no noise. And then all of a sudden, I heard bounce, 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 slide, slide. And I'm like, what the heck? So I got out of there. So being close to a mound, and now I'm doing all this research on the giants and mound building, and that could be a portal there. So that's why I showed them the area. I don't know if you guys got to go investigate that area that night or not.
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah, no. You guys basically just hung out.
Yeah, Tina asks. She says she was just there at Ryerson Station. She's asking, where are the mounds?
There, the mound is right there where the ranger station is, Tina. It's right. It's like the right where the ranger's house is. It's right. They built the new pools, and there's an old house that sits up on. It's a mound. If you look at it, that is a mound. Yeah. And basically, and I brought your people here to my house because there's a mound behind this house, and by the way the crow flies, Moundsville's. I DJ'd in Moundsville, so it's not that far away. So, these Native Americans were inspired by those Native Americans, and so there's mounds. There's a mound, and the cool thing about mounds is, like they made effigy shapes out of them. So, like I was telling everybody, there's a mound here. And then there's a causeway behind my neighbor's, where my neighbor's property is. It's like, you can tell it's mounded. And I didn't want to go on my neighbor's property too far, but I'm guessing there's a mound over there, and there's a mound behind my neighbor Brad's barn. So these people were mound builders because those people were mound. It's pretty fascinating, but they were into. The earth, the spirit of the earth and everything, and the cosmos, right. and the stars, and a very, very fascinating subject.
It really is. And, there's so many mounds in the area, all over, well, not just Western Pennsylvania, but out in Ohio and Michigan. I really don't know where all they are that they've been discovered. I know of quite a few that are not documented also, like your own, that they're on private property, and they don't want them known.
No, they don't. And the fascinating thing is they're giants.
Yeah.
And now, the thing people ask me a lot, what got you so fascinated with history? I've always been fascinated with history, but what really got me into Native American history was I had a dream, and I was an Indian, and I woke up, and I had to find out about. I didn't know. I knew everybody knows about Native Americans, but they don't know about Native. It's a very hard subject to learn, and I found it interesting that this area where we live in wasn't at the time. There was at one time it was just a hunting area for the Iroquois.
Uh-huh.
So the more I learned, I found this book. I told you guys about it. I always have it with me.
Okay, that's all right.
Indian villages and place names in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I was doing research in the library in Waynesburg, and it was a research book. So I went on my own and I got it. So it's the most fabulous. This guy wrote this Donahue. He wrote this book to be a reference book for people to write books. So he was like amazing. Thank goodness for this guy. And I share this book all the time on my history pages. But the cool thing I found was what really got me fast. I was hooked forever
Hmm.
when the Delaware were coming across with the Iroquois. I know they were following the sun. They were coming west to east. They ran into these giants, and they had a huge war. The war was so massive that you know, we know from our wars we had to bury people in trenches, but that's how awful this war was. Well, the uh, the Delaware and the Iroquois won, and so that I was hooked ever since. They were giants, you know, giants.
Yeah.
So the more, and we're talking Bigfoot, right? So yeah, so it's very fascinating, and I don't and you know, like the Smithsonian. They hide it. They don't. Why don't they want us to know? I mean, come on, man. What's going
They,
on?
yeah, the Smithsonian, they've dug up so many of these and taken away the bones and hidden them away. And it's all top secret now. You know, they deny everything. They deny their knowledge of it, and it's a shame. But you know, all you can hope is that yeah, it will come out one day.
Right, and just everybody be vigilant and keep just you know, showing the truth. I mean, because it's out there. I mean,
Right.
a page that's on YouTube and on Facebook, the Y Files, they do a really good job with research that I already have researched. But those guys do a really good job. So look up the Y Files. I don't know if you ever saw them. They're
Okay.
very good.
Yeah, I'll
But yeah.
look that.
But the cool thing is, my dad always told me about these giant. And I post this a lot uh, down on the Youghiogheny River down in Dawson, where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
There was a railroad across from Dawson, and that when they dug up the roundhouse, they found the giants. Now, my mother just told me that her godfather was there when they dug the giants up. So I didn't know that. So my dad always told the story, but that's probably where it came from. I never knew that my mother was the root of the story. So I'm going to get more out of mom. She was talking about that today, actually.
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
my dad talking about the roundhouse uh, many years ago, but
yeah. You're from Dawson.
well, my mother was from Dawson. I'm from
Yeah,
Vanderbilt, which is, you
yeah.
know,
Tri-town.
yeah.
Yeah,
And my dad was born in Liberty. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, the whole family.
That's where my dad was born in Liberty.
Mhm.
Small
Okay.
world, small world,
Yes.
very small world. It's
Really,
cool though.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll share that stuff tomorrow about the Giants and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But
Thank
but
you, Tara and Tina.
you're welcome.
I
Yeah,
would
thanks,
not
man.
have known the Y files. I would have looked up just the letter Y, you know, like the X files. Only looked
Yeah,
up the
it's
Y.
WHY. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's WHY. Yeah, the
yeah,
Y
that's
files.
what Tina and Tara say.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'm gonna
Hecklefish
have
is
to
my
get on
hero.
there because I
Yeah,
love history also.
he has a pet fish.
Pardon me.
He has a pet fish called Hecklefish. And he's a conspiracy theorist.
Oh,
AJ's the straight guy, and Hecklefish is Yeah. It's funny. It's really do a really good job. I'm entertained all the time. But so back to the portal here on the property.
Yeah.
My mom was talking to a psychic, and he said that's Bigfoot coming through this, and from investigating over at Braddock's, you guys found Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot had the guy was coming around the corner. I showed your people where that it actually took place, where that guy got that picture of the Bigfoot
Oh, okay.
over by Brad's
Oh,
mailbox.
yeah.
Yeah, I showed them when I'm sorry that you couldn't come around for the tour, but like you said, you'll come on a tour someday when you
Yeah.
get a chance. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love
yeah,
to. Yeah, I was there where the guy, where the truck driver filmed the Bigfoot from his truck. He was working on the gas wells or something, and his dash cam caught a Bigfoot coming around the curve. And I have that video up on the channel here. And just, I'm telling everyone else here, just whenever the show's over, just scroll through and look for Green County Bigfoot truck driver dash cam. I can't remember what I titled it, but you'll find it. It's from a few years ago. I think either 2019 is whenever I went out there and investigated that sighting, as well as a couple other sightings in the general area. But yeah, that entire area is fantastic. I love it.
yeah. And like I was telling you, I don't get to talk much about it, but I do. We even have the Black Panther here,
Yeah.
and I saw it twice. And once again, I'm going to bring up my buddy's name, because that's why I had to bring up that he saved me from the river. So all of a sudden, here's me and Joe and his son. We're riding quads,
Mm-hmm.
and the Black Panther ran out in front of us. And then we saw it again when we were coming back. He ran out in front of us again. And I saw the Black Panther down in Paul's apple orchard. Paul Braddock's is right down the road past the mailbox.
Yeah.
And mom saw the Black Panther too in Paul Braddock's orchard. Now, I brought up the orchard because I wanted to tell you, it was after I was done with my walking, and I wrote down the date. I can't remember. Oh, 2017. So it was 2017. I was just walking that hill that's really steep, just exercising. I wasn't walking with the flag, and I heard this really creepy noise. And once again, it was in broad daylight. It was a really creepy noise. I'm like, what the heck's that? So I'm like, I don't know. So I just keep walking, and then so I walk back down the hill, and I'm walking back up the hill again. I heard it again, but it was closer. I'm like, you know what? I'm done walking today. So, so I went home. So that night, Brad shot me an email. He said, "Hey Terry, check this out." And he played, and it was a recording. I was like, Brad, I heard that in the daytime. He's like, "Hey, what is that?" I was like, I don't know, man. It was really weird. I was walking, and so then you guys think it's Bigfoot. Did you hear the recording? It was the Fayette County people, I think.
Yes.
That heard it, and they're the ones that said it's Bigfoot. So,
Okay.
I mean, the way things are going down here, it's Bigfoot. Now,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him playing it at one of the Patsy Hillman Bigfoot festivals a few years ago. And I honestly can't remember what my impression of it was, because it's been a few years.
But I got to tell you this. Mom told me there's been times where now her bedroom is in the upstairs of this cabin, and a few times something knocked right outside her and just knocked right on the cabin, and she thinks it was Bigfoot.
Oh, okay. Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, whenever it's up that high, yeah.
You were telling me about your experiences with Bigfoot and stuff, so
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Where they'll bang on the wall for sure. Bang on the side of your vehicle too while you're sleeping inside.
Wow.
But
Go ahead.
I know I was going to ask you about Mothman.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. I'm glad you read my mind there. But anyways, now this I don't get to tell this part of the Mothman story because I'm always in a hurry to try to get a lot in because I only have like so much time at those talks. But it all started when I was a kid at that house, that Dawson house. And Mom said I came running in from outside, terrified of a man with big red eyes, a flying man with big red eyes. And so that's my first sighting when I was just not even old enough. I can't even remember it. So I was, but probably I can, when you're 6 years old, you can remember things, but not really very well, I guess. But that probably just scared it right out of my memory banks too. So
Wow.
So flash into the future. I was a chef up at Seven Springs, and we stayed at this place called Alpine Lodge. And since I'm talking about this, it's called County Line Road. Okay, so me and my wife lived in an apartment there, and we were going to visit my mother-in-law who lived further down County Line Road towards the park. You know where Trent is. You guys, have you ever investigated? I know the Fayette County Bigfoot has. They've researched they went looking for signs of Bigfoot down in Trent. It's called Trent, the park.
Okay. No, I live so far from there. I pretty much have Fred and his group at the Fayette County Bigfoot Project cover for me. I send them our reports and have them investigate for me.
Yeah, but anyway, so just to give you guys the location and in your brains where this is, and like I said, it's past Seven Springs. So we lived near Seven Springs. You pass Seven Springs, you go down to my mother-in-law's house. But anyways, it was a thunderstorm, and my mother-in-law said, I want some Coke out of the Coke machine down at the park, down at Trent. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's storming out there. So my ex-wife was a woman of few words. So we just went out to the car, and she drove like Mario Andretti. So there we are going around the corner, lightning flashes, storming, flying, water everywhere. She's flying around the corners. We're just going in a hurry to get on a mission to get the Cokes and get back to Mom. And lightning flashes, and they're going around the corner, and there stands the Mothman right in our headlights. And so I was like, "Holy cow, that's Mothman!" He's just standing there, just looking. It's like what? That was Mothman, and so
just describe it for me, please.
Oh, giant! And he was standing there with his wings together, just he was tall, 11 feet tall. I don't know how tall he was, but he was just tall, a giant man standing there. But you could tell it was Mothman because I've heard the description. My dad told the story all the time. He even told the story about how it appeared in thunderstorms, which I found fascinating.
Yeah.
So we get down to Trent, and my ex-wife says, "You get the Cokes." So I'm thinking, no, okay. So I get out and get the Cokes, and we're almost back to my mother-in-law's house, and I'm like, "You saw that?" I was like, "How could I not? That was Mothman. Those huge red eyes. He was just staring at us. I couldn't believe we were seeing it myself." She's like,
"Wow, wow."
So flash into the future. I was going to chef school, And I was going. Me and my friend Donnie Moore were coming back from chef school, and once again on County Line Road. There's if people who know this road, there's a road that goes. It's called Back Creek Road, and that takes you to Indian Head. So right after Back Creek Road, we're coming up along. We're like right when we got to that road, and we're headed up the mountain to go up. It's called County Line Road. I'm like, Donnie, slow down. It looks like a big dead deer in the middle of the road over there. And he's like, yeah, yeah. And he slowed down, and our headlights were right on it, and it stood up. Now it was a dead deer, but it was Goat Man. I mean, he had horns, it's like the mythical creature with the legs, with the, it looked like a man with the bottom part of his body was the goat, like, yeah. So he was looking at us, and he had something in his hand. Now, all these years, I thought it was part of the deer, and I knew he was eating the deer because that's what it was a dead deer, and so all of a sudden he jumped. He just jumped like a kangaroo. He jumped to the edge of the road, and then he jumped zigzag all the way through the field, and it was long leaps. It was like, I don't know, 20, not 20 yards, probably at least 15 yards. The leaps were that, and we were like, what the hell? So we went up to the lodge, and Lane's used to me going through all this stuff. So we saw some creature. We're going after it. We got all the weapons, BB guns, slingshots. We didn't have real guns, but we were going after them. Knives, machetes. We were going after this thing. Yeah. But we did find tracks on the edge of the road. I didn't think about, flashing the wisdom stage of my life. Hello, get some track.
Get some pictures.
Yeah, pictures even. Yeah. But then again, we're talking back in the days when everything's not digital, so
Yeah.
we're kind of spoiled now.
Right. Yeah.
But that's why I tell people, and that's why I'm excited about teaching people where to aim the camera for ghosts. Is like, take as many pictures as you can now. So yeah. So that was the goat. That's the Goat Man story.
Yeah, I've heard about the Goat Man from other areas of the country, but yours the first that I've heard. In Pennsylvania. There's some damn creepy things out there. I can tell you that.
Hey, that Chestnut Ridge, that mountain is very, very, yeah.
Yeah. How well I know.
Yeah. It's yeah. So yeah, I find it interesting. Like I said, both those incidents happened on, and now my one friend who's in our little ghost group we have with the school. By the way, Tina's in our group. I told her to come hang out with us today, and but she lives there now. Yeah, not Tina. Angie lives there with her husband now. So I'm like, oh, I'm coming up to hang out now. Yeah, so she lives up there actually right down by the Trent store where it was. So
yeah, cool. Me too, Tina. The Wendigo scares me too. And don't worry, that? Tina, you're not talking too much.
No.
No, not at all. Yeah, the Wendigo. I did a investigation a few years ago, back in 2018, for a reported sighting towards. Let me see. Well, up in Forest County, as a matter of fact, and a lot of creepy things going on up there. But like I said, there's the Forest County Bigfoot Festival this weekend, so get on up there. But yeah, the Goat Man. Yeah, I had relatives, well, in-laws, up in Indian Head, who are from Indian Head up on the mountain, Chestnut Ridge. And yeah, hopefully, I've no idea if they're still around or not. But I've no idea if they've ever seen anything. Never asked them.
I know I haven't investigated much, but I know people from the mountain, and I've heard. I'm trying to remember the name of the town where Goat Man has been spotted. I know I just shared a Goat Man story, so go check it out. It's in Maryland, so which is close to, this is on the edge of Maryland. You know what I mean? Maryland's not that far from.
Yeah, really.
So,
As a matter of fact, we've got two guys in here who run a Maryland group. Jeff Yarrington and Jerry Richardson, and then their other group members, Ted Ney, but they run the Mason-Dixon Cryptids. But Jeff he's just now commenting about a lot of goat men reports in Maryland.
Yeah, well, and remember I was telling you I always thought it was a piece of the deer the guy had, but I hear he carries like an axe or something. He carries some kind of, I don't know. I like I said, God bless all you guys that do all the investigating and research on all this stuff. And like as ghosts are mainly my, you know what I mean. I'm involved with ghost photography and trying to catch them. But like I said, I've run into cryptids, and so I don't know if Hatman. I don't know is Hatman a cryptid? I don't even know. I should know, but like I said, I'm more into history and researching history. You've seen my pages since recently, and I just love history.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jeff comments, Goat Man has been reported to carry an axe.
Yeah, that's what I saw that somewhere. I thought it was an axe, and that's what I was. So that might have been his axe.
Yeah, maybe.
But, yeah, I was thinking it was like a piece of the deer. But that makes sense. He was probably he's sick. I don't know. This isn't rated G, folks. He's cutting cutting the meat, flesh off the deer, probably putting it in a pouch or something. Or so I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. But
okay. Yeah, Jeff says that they're going to do a show on the Goat Man pretty soon.
Awesome.
And that's on the Mason-Dixon Cryptids channel. They're on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll. People have to hit me in the head and get my attention a lot because I'm always lost in my research and stuff. I even feel bad, like for stuff for the Dr. Louie and Ronzio School of Holistic Health. Gina was talking about sharing stuff. I'm like, oh man, you got to tell me. I'm always lost in my research. I love history so much. I'm always. People just send me a message to ADHD and I'll share your stuff. Everybody, I love to share stuff because that's what's so cool about this.
Yeah, it really is. And like you said, you're primarily into the ghost with everything else, with the other cryptids coming in for a visit.
And even by my house here.
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty cool though. I'm not afraid. Once again, I spend a lot of nights out there up on the mountain, just hanging out in the dark. It's just really cool. I love it out here. It's funny. I had my daughter and her ex-husband up here camping out one time, and I told them there's coyotes everywhere. Coyotes, really? And he did the howl, and they were like on all sides of us. And my daughter said, "This camp out is over." They went in and watched the hockey game.
That was less scary, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You know, once again, UFOs. I found it interesting. The first time I was excited to tell someone about my stories about what had happened to me in my life. It was and about the ghosts and stuff. And the first question he asked me was, "Have you ever seen UFOs?" And it was like, why did he ask me that? And I said, of course I've seen UFOs. Yeah, I knew that. He said, usually people who uh, have, I thought that was really fascinating that a researcher has uh, uncovered that connection that people who, so yeah, my dad, his name on the CB was called Skywatcher, and once again back to Boy Scouts, he taught us to look at the stars, and we are
Yeah.
always watching the sky, and and we were always looking for UFOs because yeah, because they're there. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, and funny thing about Dawson once again, uh, there my house sat in a valley, but I'd hear the I always was doing my own kind of investigating thing. When the dogs in Dawson started barking all around the town, I'd run out to the sidewalk and I'd look towards uh Scottdale Way and the racetrack. There's an old racetrack there. And I knew if I stood there just for a little bit, I'd see a UFO go across the sky. So they had some kind of and sure enough, every time it happened. I mean, I did it. I lived there for all my life, so I mean, it was just like I don't know if there's some kind of underground base near the Youghiogheny there, or I don't know, but I know that they had a pattern and they always followed it, and it was
Yeah.
always silent. And that's the secret. All the dogs were barking and everything. So I found that interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually saw one of the cigar-shaped UFOs. I was up on the hill one day in broad daylight, looking over towards Brad's house over on the hill where, and it flew right across the sky. It was like, it's like flew like it was like I don't know, like Flash Gordon speed. Just like wow. Holy cow! So I definitely see UFOs too, and I found it interesting. I have sunrise campfires out there, and it was when all the fracking was going on here, and right in the early morning before dawn, the UFOs would always fly. They'd always fly around the frack site that was close to me. I thought that was really fascinating that these UFOs would just fly and just hover, and then they'd goof around, and then they'd take off. And then I was like, wow, yeah. So I found they like frack wells.
Yeah, they're fascinated by whatever is going on apparently, and who knows.
Yeah, we'll never know. Like we were saying, we can
Yeah.
make theories about it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the only UFOs that I've seen, they were dark, completely blacked out as they flew over. They weren't lit up or anything. Just a dark mass in the sky, going across.
That's the only ones you've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like my youngest daughter I was having a campfire at my old house down in the valley here in Greene County. We lived down on Long Run Road, and I was telling her about UFOs and how Grampy always taught us to look up. And she's like, I want to see a UFO. So all we have to do is sit here. Who knows? Maybe we'll see one. And sure enough, we saw a UFO. She's so excited. So all you got to do is keep watching the sky, Gabby. There's so much stuff going on. It's really, really, really weird how, yeah, this is a pretty hotbed down here for UFOs too. So,
Yep. Yeah,
And once again, people make that Bigfoot UFO connection too. And
yeah. Who knows if there really is a connection? We don't know.
no, we don't know. Yeah,
Or
but
if
it's
it's just by chance that they're sighted together. Don't know.
yeah,
One other thing that we'll find out one day.
yeah. Hopefully, right?
Yes.
Hey, everybody, just keep out there and hitting the dirt, hitting the investigations. I love it. It's like
Yep.
very exciting times to be in for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
yeah, it's very. I love it. And like I said, I'm some kind of magnet, and I don't know. I just I'm not afraid, and I always tell people that the thing is that you just got to get out there. You just got to do things. Just don't stay in the house.
Yep.
Do things. So I mean, like yeah, like you just go out and like even I told you about how I saw the little person down at my mom's school. I was just it was sunset. I like to be outside. But sunset I call it magic time, and
Mm-hmm.
sunrise magic time. And
Yep.
so I'm sitting at the little campfire I have by the creek, and I'm just looking at the field, and it's fall, and it's just a beautiful scene. And I'm just the sun sets, but it sets over that way, but it shines on the house. So my mom's the Lillian Ronzio School of Holistic Health. You got to go check it out on Facebook. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful building. It's a beautiful building. So I'm sitting there watching, just sitting there peaceful, hearing the stream run, and just. But all of a sudden, I hear the leaves going. Shh. I'm like, oh, here comes a squirrel. He's going to run right by me. So this is, it's exciting. So there's a pile of I have a pile of logs on the ones. There's like I'm looking through a fence opening that's only about 4 foot wide. Okay, to look out into that field. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm behind a fence. I'm sitting by a creek, and the campfire circle's there, but I don't have a campfire. I'm just sitting. I like to sit there just because it's peaceful, because the running stream and just so. But I do have the firewood stock on the one side of the one side of the fence, and on the other side of the fence. So I hear the leaves. Like I said, it sounds like the squirrel's coming, but all of a sudden I hear I hear its little footprints on the logs. And I said, here he comes. He's going to jump across. And sure enough, it jumps across, but it was a little man. And he looked as surprised to see me as I was surprised to see him. And he was gone. He hit the other logs, and he was gone. And I was like, wow. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Describe them. Describe them for the audience.
well, I got a sheets cup here. He's about as big as a sheets cup, and like Mom even said, it happened so fast, and I just knew it was a little person, but I knew he had a beard, or his face was furry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely a little figure of I played with GI Joes, and my sister had Barbie dolls. It was smaller than that, but that, like I said, the size of a sheets cup was the perfect height,
Yeah.
because people always ask me to describe how high it was
Yeah.
or how tall it was, and then mom said, what was it wearing? I don't know. And so I had to think hard, and it had to be fur, because it had to be. The more I thought about it, the more it thought of like chipmunk fur or something like that kind of fur that he had as skins, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what it was.
The different sighting reports that I've heard, of the little people, sometimes they are covered in fur, and they don't know if it's its own fur, or it's covered in hair, or wearing fur. And the other reports are of it dressed in traditional Native American garb, like a breechcloth, and carrying a quiver full of arrows, tiny little arrows, and just traditional Native American clothing, just tiny.
Right, very, very small. Yeah, I found it fascinating and once again, that area is ancient. It's an old Indian path that actually runs right through the property there. So
Yeah.
It's actually Braddock's Trail runs through the property there. So it was on the 4th of July. We were at the main camp fire circle. Now that campfire circle is down by the creek, but about 100 yards or maybe even 150 yards from that is our main, right in front of that. And it was after a 4th of July fireworks display, and there was only me and my sister and her boyfriend and his couple of his brother was there, and his brother's son. His brother's son was roasting a marshmallow in the fire. I was just sitting there, and they were all talking away from the fire. And all of a sudden, this ghost appears. It was once again, it was a shadowy ghost. He was very tall, and he was walking a straight line. And I pulled out my camera. I'm like, Gina, there's a ghost. I didn't want that kid to think I was just taking his picture, because he was turning around, and it was gone. And so he's like, I felt somebody walk behind me. I said, yeah, it was a ghost. so I think that was a Native American spirit, because once again, he was tall. I know he wasn't like giant tall, like a giant. That we were talking about giants earlier. He was at least 6 foot something, that ghost. But he was but the way he walked, he was definitely it just felt native to me. It felt, you know what I mean? Like it felt like it was a Native American. And like I said, the trail runs right by there. So we believe we have a portal right there near that campfire circle. So, because a lot of things have been happening around that. So, we want to get a camera and aim it at that area where I saw the ghost come out. So yeah, we can't wait to see what goes on with that investigation.
Yeah. Have you ever set up a camera trap, a game camera, or anything like a video with
Not
video
there yet.
capability? No, I was just wondering if it would.
Yeah, we haven't.
Anything.
Yeah, we haven't. We've been talking about it, and I think I know we're going to do it. But once again, back to my family, we're all so darn busy. We actually have an event coming up called Creature Fest at the end of the month, so we're getting ready for that right now.
Oh, okay. Now, where is that at?
It's going to be at the Uniontown Mall, and I get the DJ, so I'm all happy. I get my own little. It's going to be at the Uniontown Mall Theater, and I'll share. It's at the end of the month. The 29th, and I think you guys got a Bigfoot thing going on too that time. I think I shared, but it's on the 29th and the 30th of June, and I'll share that event tonight. But yeah, I get my own movie theater. Shane's excited because my brother Shane, because he was the star of this Wolfman movie. And he's like, it's like a cool movie. It's like he plays 3 characters in that movie, and he's like I said, go back to the roots of them. I taught them how to act very young. When we were doing the Ghost Mountain project that Shane renamed the movie, and so he plays the Wolfman, basically a Dr. Jekyll kind of guy and something else. And so that guy he's had this. They shot this movie like over 2 years ago, but he talked him into the showing it. So he's going to show that movie both days a bunch of times. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
if you're in the Uniontown area, check out. It's a very good, very very good. I mean, like I said, Sean worked on my brother Sean, who worked in Hollywood, worked on the special effects, and
Mhm,
and, and Eric, who made the movie, he was one of Sean's students, and
mhm.
a bunch of Sean's students. They all made this. They're all professionals, so it's a very it's a hidden gem. So you might be one of the first ones to see this thing because it hasn't been released yet. But
Wow.
he got permission. Well, he's the guy who's in charge. But I think I don't know how it works with that movie. But anyways, that's the exciting event. And I mean, it's developing it as we speak. We don't know everything. There's going to be a lot happening at Creature Fest. But I just know one thing. I got the TNT Music Explosion. That's me. I got my own movie theater. I get to play music for 2 days, and I'm excited.
Very cool. That's Creature Fest at the Uniontown Mall Theater
Yeah, at the
in
Uniontown Mall Cinemas. Yeah,
yeah,
there's like
Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so if anyone's in the area, make sure you stop by, and that's on the 29th and 30th of June.
Yes, 29th and 30th of June. Like I said, go to the ADHD historian page, and I'll share from Creature Fest page to the after the show. I'll share it.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good. Yeah, I wish I could come, but
yeah, but you guys have an event too. Yeah,
yeah,
where's
there's a
your
camp
event?
out. Yeah, there's a
Oh,
camp out
okay,
that same weekend. Uh,
awesome. Where are you guys at this time?
Prince Gallitzin State Park, that's in Cambria County.
Oh, okay. Oh, well,
And
good luck.
thank you. Yeah, we were
You're
there
welcome.
last year and had a lot of activity. So we're going back this year.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, God bless you guys for going out there and doing this. I wish I could be there. Like even when you guys were here in Green County, I couldn't. I had so much to do. I'm always busy.
Yeah, well, maybe
But
next time.
yeah, and hey, I love doing this kind of stuff. So I'm glad. Thank you so much for asking me to come on and stuff.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, you've
I
got so many things going on and so many things that you've experienced and all of your different pages and interests. You know, I love history. So, you know, whenever you talk about the history of the area, you know, that fascinates me. And
yeah,
the way it connects.
yeah, you're right. And I'm really happy that I've inspired. This is a cool little story that I coach football down here in West Green. And I knew one of the guys who one of the young boys that I coached. I was basically the trainer slash coach. They always came to me, and I'd wrap their wounds and stuff and everything. But he actually was he was, as a young man, he was a fan of my page, Green County Time Capsule. But now he's a history teacher at West Green. So I have a feeling I was kind of an inspiration. Yeah. So I love it. Yeah, that's my goal, to inspire young minds. Because hey, when I walk with the flag, uh, a couple high schools invited me to talk to kids, and what the cool thing was, I lay out all my history books, and the kids it was like candy. And the most fascinating thing, they always went for the Native American books. So
Mhm.
we're just not with these kids aren't taught real history, and especially local history. That really bothers me. And that if you even go to Wikipedia, look up a town, a little small town in anywhere, and it says this town was unincorporated and such blah blah blah. There's no history. Like, man, these people lived there, they sweated there, they worked there, they cried there, they died there, they're buried there, and that's all you're going to say about that town. So that's why. my goal was to make I did an area. I did West Virginia time, like I told you guys the areas, and
Mhm.
that was my corner of the planet, and I was going to make a file for every little town there was, and and I knew that all these old timers would talk about history. So, like I
Yeah.
said, I always fear of them deleting all that history. That's
Uh,
but what can you do? You just got to keep going on. You can't just keep. It's just strange times when it comes to stuff like Facebook and yeah.
it
So
really is.
yeah.
I know. Yeah, I've had different groups over the years in different. I used to have a pretty huge group on what is it, MSN. Yeah, the old MSN. This is like 24 years ago, back in 1999 and 2000. Uh, that it was a huge group, but it was stolen from me by other people who kicked me off, and I built it. It was a great group, and I can't remember how many members that I had, but um, somebody, they booted me out of my own group and took it over, and I think it kind of died after that because people knew, they,
What
of course,
happened?
yeah, they knew what happened,
They
and
knew the story. Yeah.
yeah, it failed after that, but it happens.
Yeah. You guys gotta get back up, dust yourself off, and
Mm-hmm.
just keep
Yep,
going, keep moving forward.
exactly. Live and learn.
Yeah, that's it. And you can't, because the bottom line is we have to keep inspiring people who are younger than us to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why I said I wish I could go out there and walk with a flag now, but I wasn't. People always say, "Oh, you go, you were like, I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for the soldiers." You
Yeah.
know, and I was trying to inspire other people to do stuff for the patriotism and freedom and the soldiers and the troops, and
Mm-hmm.
because this is a great country. I mean, bottom line is I love this country.
Yeah.
It's like, and when the more you learn, the more history you learn. It's like that was my goal too. With if I can teach these young people to love their town more, because the more you learn about your town's history, the more you become attached to it. So once again, go to the Native Americans. How they were hard to defeat because they loved the land they lived in. The
Yeah.
more you love the land you live in is a more powerful weapon than, oh, you got to move to this area. Yeah, no, you're not. No one's moving us anywhere. Yeah, that's my hidden goal, is to make people want to fight for that little chunk of ground that they call their home. That's it. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
whenever I moved from Fayette County, we moved from there up to Allegheny County, and then after I remarried and everything, I moved north of Pittsburgh into Beaver and Lawrence County now. But as I drive around here and I'm exploring this new area north of Pittsburgh, I see all the historical road signs that the state has put up over the years, many years ago. And it tells you the little hidden tidbits, historical tidbits that happened in that particular area. And I always stop, to read them because I just find it fascinating, what happened there. And, 200 years ago or 100 years ago, there was an old courthouse, used to be in this area that's completely gone, or this is where a historic battle took place, or a settlement was here. And it's just fascinating to learn about that. And, I urge everyone, like yourself, get curious about your area, learn it, learn the history, see who lived there before and what happened, how they built your area, who lived there before. Uh, Yeah, you're right, Tina. All the coal mining disasters that happened, you know, so many in this area, not only Western Pennsylvania, but in West Virginia also.
Yeah, I cover those too. With I have a file for each little coal mine and the disasters and things. And yeah,
Yeah, there was one in, I remember hearing about in just outside of the city of Monongahela. And
Fayette City,
pardon me?
the one in Fayette City.
No, Monongahela.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember what year that it happened, but I think that there is a roadside sign about it.
The Dara
Next,
mine.
yeah,
That's not. Is it
yeah,
the Dara
this.
mine? It's called Dara mine.
Yeah, next time I go driving through there, I'll have to take a picture of the sign. And
I covered all the. I tried to cover all the every one of those mines. I know the one Tina's from. Can't remember which town she's from, but yeah, I know exactly what coal mine disaster in my brain. But like I said, right now I'm on the subject of all kinds of stuff. So, but the cool thing is, I know where to find it in my file. So I go to the Washington County Monongahela page. I go to there it is. That's where Tina lives. Yeah, so that's where that mine was. Yeah, that's how I do it. Yeah, that's why I make files because that's yeah, it's
yeah, Tina says 250 men and boys died there, Van Meter, Pennsylvania.
yeah.
Dar mining disaster. Yeah, there's so many things that happen.
Yeah, do you guys want me to tell you any more ghost stories before we go?
Well, tell you what, I'm reading through here. You haven't told us about the Thunderbirds yet.
Yeah, that is very fascinating. And once again, it was a very quick moment, but it was right outside of McClellantown.
Okay.
Is right near the. It was on Route 21. It was on a Sunday. Once again, another Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there on Sundays, everybody, but but go to church first. But I never discourage people from going to church. But yeah, I was headed to Fayette County from here, and it was like it was right. It was near that where that where they bury garbage. But you know what I mean, the garbage dump, uh, where they take the landfill. Thank you, my brain's not. But anyway, so I'm just driving down the road, and it was early morning, probably 7, and a thunderbird flew over it was a giant, and the reason why I knew was that it wasn't a plane. It flapped but it was gone. That's how fast it was. It was just like, wait, that was a thunderbird. so like what the heck, but it was there. It was so weird. It was the weirdest. It was just like, once again, like uh, just another being at the right place at the right time. That's what I always tell people. You kind of got to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Can you describe, estimate about how long the wingspan was?
it was think of a small airplane, like a regular small airplane. It was that big, like a
Okay.
small, yeah. And like I said, the wings, and it was gone. It's like, whoa, that's how big it was. It was definitely the size of a plane,
Wow.
a small plane.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah. It was strange. Like I said, it happened so fast, and so, but I just wrote it down. I think I wrote down the date.
Yeah. When did that happen?
Let's see, where's
Yeah.
Thunderbird 2017.
Okay.
And
Tina says,
what's interesting, the Bigfoot sound I heard was in 2017.
oh, okay.
That's interesting. Black Panther sightings 2016. the two, I had actually two things happen to me at that campfire site. One was in 2017 and one was in 2016. I believe I saw the little guy first in 2016. Yeah, and then the second thing that happened to me was really strange. I fell asleep. I was having a campfire at that little campfire site by the creek, and I know exactly around the time it was. It was around Memorial Day, and the reason we had a gathering of the whole family, so I know it was Memorial Day, and I know it wasn't Easter. It was definitely Memorial Day, and I didn't write down the exact date. But anyways, but I know it was. So I was awakened by the strangest sounds I ever heard in my life. But there were thousands of them, and I had a flashlight. I'm like, they're all around me. It sounded like something out of a prehistoric world. That's the only thing I kept thinking of. This is a sound that's not normal of this earth, but there's thousands of them, and I was shining my light. I couldn't see anything. I didn't know what to do. It was just the strangest. I mean, I'm surrounded once again. I'm like I said, I don't scare easy, but I was kind of like frightened because I was scared, but you know what I mean? So, the only thing I could think of was, since it's in my brain, I was like, this is, like I said, prehistoric. I'm going to have to get primal on this thing. I'm going to have to just like do some kind of prehistoric yell. And I grabbed my fire stick and I jumped around, and the sounds, they didn't, it just like, they kept doing the same frequency. But they slowly moved down the stream. They're like, this guy's nuts. This guy. Yeah, they slowly moved, and I hurriedly jumped in the mule and took off and went up to the house to sleep. That was the weirdest thing. Yeah,
Wow.
so I don't know what it was. but like I said, it was something from the other side.
Yeah.
Came to visit me.
A lot going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tina says there's been Bigfoot sightings at Ohio Powell State Park. I was just at Ohio Powell this past weekend at they had a wine festival going on there. And but yeah, we used to go all over Ohio Powell years ago.
It's gotten very busy over the years compared to
Yes,
what very busy.
it really has. It's grown and still growing.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's great that what's fascinating is it was a really popular place back for people back when the railroads, back in the day. So it's really cool. My mom and my dad actually spent their honeymoon there.
Okay.
One of the hotels that are gone.
Really? Oh, wow.
They went there. Yeah. I have pictures. I have a file. I started a file on the ADHD for a high pal. I think I might even copy that whole file. But the cool thing is to go to the Yakagani page and look for the file there, because you get to see there are people who are gone now.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the West Virginia page, because I'm a really good DJ. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm an entertaining DJ, and I love the people that I make people have a good. I always tell people I can make sober people dance and have fun. So yeah, so I love to entertain. I love to jump around, play air guitar, get crazy with everybody, just make them have fun. So the sad thing is, DJing all these years that I've DJ'd. And what made me think of doing the West Virginia page is because I love those people. Because my goal was to be really good, and I wanted to go to a big city. So I made it to Pittsburgh. A bar booked me for 6 months, once a month, but there's nothing like being a small town. You know what I mean? It's different. It's different. I just so, and especially in West Virginia. When I first moved down here, I thought my DJ career was ended because I had to move down here because I was raising my two of my children down here with my mom and dad were helping me, and I thought this was nowhere. You saw it. It's like it's just
Oh, yeah.
wilderness. Yeah.
Yes.
But I didn't realize that there's Cameron right down the road. West Virginia. There's a border and there's towns. So
Yep.
those little towns in West Virginia, like Moundsville and West
Yep.
Virginia, Limestone and
Yeah.
Blacksville and 100. Those people. I love those people. And
Yeah.
and the sad thing is, like I said, I DJ'd at the VFWs and Legions and a lot of those old timers, passed away. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta make a West Virginia time capsule because
Yes.
the West Virginia people are the greatest. They're like southwestern Pennsylvania people, and
Yeah.
West Virginia people are the greatest people in the world, I think.
I agree.
And Norway people are great too. I'm sure everybody's great, but I got to know these people, and so that's why I did the history page.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating, and it's great to do that. There's so much that's forgotten, and people think that they're invisible, and they've done important things, but they really don't think that it's important. But it's great to highlight it and highlight these people who really are heroes. For what they do and what they have done in the past, and introduce people to them. No, so that's a great thing that you're doing, Terry. It really is.
Yeah, get out there and get involved with your local historical societies.
Yes.
Get connected with your fire departments because they need help. Tell when you go talk to your fire departments, dig up all their old fire truck pictures and post them on their pages because people love old pictures of old, and that'll help the firemen out. I always tell people if I meet a fireman, put up your old pictures. People will share them, and that'll help you guys get traffic to your. Because, like you said, I'm really good at social media. Our one page is like one of the biggest pages on the internet, on Facebook, and we had an original Facebook page that got totally deleted. We never paid a dime to get these things moving, and they totally deleted our page. And they did it on that day that I don't know the anniversary where everybody celebrates smoking pot. It's like 4 or something. But anyways, that's the day they deleted our page. They're just delete them. Yeah, okay, click, and it was gone. So, yeah.
That's awful. It really is,
a lot of hard work, and once again, all those files. I'm like the quarterback for this page, and the other guys we're a team. But I always saved. I had all these files deleted, gone. Huge. Yeah, all kinds of But anyways, like I said, you gotta get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forwards.
That's right. Yeah, and just back them up now on a hard drive, on files, and I've got all kinds of stuff that I've put in emails to myself. So it won't get lost. I've got it backed up on couple separate hard drives. So hopefully things won't get lost, but it is what it is, and you just, like you said, you dust yourself up and move on.
Yeah, just keep walking.
Yeah. No, it's very important. And I tell you what, it's almost 9:30 here, Terry, and I want to thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I have a million other things I could talk about, but
Next time.
time goes. Yeah, the time goes fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you very much.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring you on another time, and you know, we're on here every Wednesday evening, so you jump on YouTube and watch the show. And if I don't have anyone else on, I'll send out an invitation, and maybe you can jump back in.
Yeah, that's true. I could always tune in and
Yeah,
check it out, and like you said, but yeah, and don't. I mean, feel free to let me make an appointment because, like I said, I enjoy talking. Like my friend Tina sent me a email like, I miss talking to people that like to like what I like. So
yeah,
so it was interesting. She emailed me like right before the show. So I'm like a couple days before the show, I'm like, hey Tina, I'm gonna be on the show. So she's like, all right. So she
yeah,
got to be with other people, and hopefully she met some other cool people just by being here tonight. So
yeah.
and hey guys, like I said, like the page and please message me if you want me to share stuff because Terry will be off on one of his historical digging stuff. I
Yeah.
love it. I love history. I just I'm gonna be on some kind of mission. But yeah, I love to share stuff too. So
Oh,
so let
good.
me know. And I'll share stuff, and I won't forget your show though. Like you said, I'll share it every week, and I'll try to get on.
Thank you. I
But,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
you're welcome.
everyone, make sure you sign up for and like the ADHD historian on Facebook, and just follow the page and learn about history.
Yes, and feel free to add comments and stuff about history and stuff to each post and everything. Because like I said, it gets recorded in time. And like I said, if you'll see when you go to the page, I have it linked up to the top, all my old pages. So go to those pages, and you'll see posts like if you're from a town and you'll see people that aren't even here anymore, but they're still their comments are worth seeing because it's a pretty cool thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's special. Like I said, I hope Facebook just doesn't delete the history pages.
Oh,
So,
hopefully not.
yeah. So, but anyway, we can't worry about it. But I just enjoy it while we have it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Terry.
You're
And
welcome. So how do you end this thing? What do you push?
well, I can.
Do you turn off the phone or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I can. Well, I can help you out with that. So
Okay,
just
thank you.
wave goodbye and say bye bye
Bye,
and
bye, everybody. I used
bye.
to be cell phone free Terry for a long time, believe it or not, until Facebook made me get a phone to get my new page.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how. Yeah, I was cell phone free until then. Yeah, so.
Well,
Bye,
that's good.
everybody.
Take care.
Have a good evening. Thanks, Mary. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And yeah, we'll get Terry on again another time. And he's got, I've got my notes here, and he sent me 3 pages of notes of different things that he's involved in, different things that he's seen and experienced. So, we'll have him on again, another time to finish talking about what he's seen and experienced and different projects that he's involved in. And I just wanted to thank everyone, for joining us, being here, and thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Tina, for being a new member. And don't worry, you don't talk too much. Comment. That's what the comment section's for. Come on in and comment as much as you want. And thank you all for joining us again. And make sure that you join Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project Facebook group. And I forgot to go over the other business. My book. It's on Amazon. Yeah, there we go. It's on Amazon. And thank you. I guess I got to end it here. God bless. Monkey Wench out.